across from the big factory where Dutch American Foods just put up their building. That's more noticeable in our smaller building, so. Kind of ironic. I graduated from this high school, as did Joe, and probably half of our people at our shop graduated from Crete-Monee or local school districts right around here. Tom, you're over in Indiana, and one of the other guys is TF North, but we're all local guys here. Ironically, I graduated from Crete-Monee 50 years ago this year. So I'm sitting in your seat 50 years ago wondering, man, what am I going to do after I get out of high school? What's in store for me? How many of you guys are seniors? All but one? Okay.
No, they're all
five.
Oh, you're all seniors, okay. All right, so you're going to be getting out in the working world or going to college or going to the military. You know, there's a few options for you. And whether, you know, you're leaving high school to get into the work world or you're leaving college to go into the work world, you're going to be facing the same questions to yourself. What am I going to be doing here once I get out of wherever you're at, school, military, whatever. So I'm going to give you some insights on my 50 years of experience. There's a lot of stuff's happened in 50 years for me and a lot of water under the bridge. I'm just going to share some of my thoughts with you here as you start entertaining your careers and what you're going to be going into. I've brought a number of things along here today that I'm going to leave with you guys. This book right here, now everybody does stuff online, so do I, but sometimes you can get a better picture of things if you look in a book and see, you know, the additional pages around whatever you're looking at, so you can see a little bit more what is out there. This here is the Illinois Manufacturers Directory. Every state has a book like this, and sure, you can look this up online, but if you want to look up something in the city of Chicago, that's about 70% of this book. There's so many businesses in Chicago. This company puts all the companies in certain towns in this book automatically. You don't have to pay for being placed in here if you're a company. You're going to be in here if you're in a certain town. So it's easy for you to go in and look up any town and see what different companies are in that town. And what it tells you is what the company's name is, what they do, their website, that's when you can start going online, their website, phone numbers, and maybe most importantly is there's names of people that run the place or work there. So it's a valuable tool for a job seeker to use when you're out looking to find a place to work. You can look up the company, find out what they do, and go and talk to them. Now, this day and age, most people have to go to a job placement service or an employment company to get a chance to fill out an application. But if you've got the personnel director or human resources director's name, you might be able to call them up directly and say, hey, I'm just graduating from high school or college or whatever. I'd like to come and talk to you here. Then at least you can talk to somebody. That's networking of a pretty general nature, but it's different than my neighbor works there, my best friend works there. It might be better off for you to apply for a job at a place without telling somebody, oh, I got 3 friends that work here. They're not looking for people that are friends to work there. They want people that are going to come in. Once you're out of school, you're on your own, kinda. So make your own way. That's what life's all about. So I'm going to leave this book with you here. You can look up any of the towns around here. You'll see all the companies listed in there. It's a great resource. This area right here, and probably every place in the United States, really has some exceptional companies that have, you know, cutting edge products that they make. And, you know, it's really, there's a wealth of that around here. I was talking to one of you guys here. You were back by the welding booth 2 weeks ago when I was in here. And I told you about Bernard Welding down at Beecher. Art Bernard invented the MIG welding process, okay? I think it was in the 40s or something. I have to Google it to look it up. But this guy took a raw idea, he invented it, he had a fight to get his patent against big companies like Lincoln Electric or some of these big gas companies that, you know, they were kind of, everybody was kind of going the same direction, but he got the patent and filed for it first, and he told me that he went to court for years to get the rights to that patent. So, he ended up winning against these big guys. Mortgaged his house 3 times in the process, but he won out. And then he turned that patent out to the public domain, I believe. So that's one company that has a fantastic product. You go anywhere around here, and if you look in this book and find who these companies are, you can see what they do and what their product line is. It's always good to go into a job interview and know a little bit about what the company does that you're applying for, because that might get you, you know, if you've been paying attention, they're looking for people that can pay attention to what they're doing, so you might fit in. Or you might say, man, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different in a different direction. So you've got lots of opportunities. From my perspective, quite often, if I'm going to a customer to call on them, or I want to look at a customer and see that maybe we can serve them with our work, I look in this book also, because it tells me the same things. What does the company do? Who are the principal people that I need to talk to? Phone numbers, websites. I can do the same thing as a business person as you guys can as a potential employee. And I tell you, you can really find out some good information on that. So I'm going to leave this with your classroom here. I don't know if they have one of these in the library here. Do they even have a library with books in it anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you two ladies counselors by any chance? Okay, good.
She's our assistant superintendent of curriculum.
But I don't believe we have that in the library at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious about that, because I think the Crete Library has it, and some libraries will have it. It's a reference book. But you guys have your own copy here now, and you'll be able to do that research. It's a really a good thing to do. So, your program here, Bill, is called manufacturing,
Yes.
Technology, that type of thing?
Yes.
How is that tied in with the STEM program down there? You got a STEM, STEM, or?
Yeah, we have a STEM program in the building.
Okay.
This is just, we're just starting out, so it's all a work in process.
Okay.
Eventually, the idea is to get the engineering students and some of the business students interested in this, so they can come see this side of the manufacturing world and how it applies. Matter of fact, I have a couple of students that are gonna be engineers, and so this is.
And you segued me right into my next comments. Thank you. I'm going to tell you, we're in a machine shop environment here. You're building this program up, and from the standpoint of vocations that you might end up doing or choose to do as you go forward in life, it may take a while. I've bounced in a few things as I've gone through the years here. But you go into a business, and what's a business there to do? What do they do?
They're here to make money.
What else do they do?
Depends on.
Products. You're exactly right. Every company has a product that they make. Everything that you see in this room here, outside, inside, that doesn't grow out of the ground is manufactured somewhere, okay?
And even some of the stuff that grows out of the ground.
Well, that's where they get the raw materials, is out of the ground. Ores for steel and aluminum, and all the elements of earth are used in different things. So, everything here has been made somewhere. From the simplest little chart there, I came in here a number of years ago, and I talked to a bunch of students, and I don't know if one of you might have been in the meeting. Before I made my presentation, they wanted to know what I was going to present. So we had a meeting with a couple of teachers, and I said the same comment. I said, everything in this room has been made by somebody, except for this flower on the table. And I looked at the flower, it was a fake flower. So somebody's making fake flowers. I mean, that minute of a thing, some company somewhere is making that. So my point is, every company doesn't make all this stuff, but each company makes one item. There might be one company that makes floor drain covers, one company that makes light bulbs. Everybody's got their specialty that they do. So they are making their products to sell to the consumers, and part of the job environments that's out there, all plays into the product going out the door. You've got manufacturing, obviously, you've got engineering, you've got sales, you've got accounting, you've got management, maintenance. All those come together to make the product go out the door. And hopefully if they've priced it properly, the company can make money to pay their employees, have a little profit to grow with, give the consumer a good value for their dollar. I mean, it's a huge undertaking there. So everybody has something that they make, and that gives you job possibilities to go out and look for machining, manufacturing, accounting, sales. The whole list that I just gave you here, those are all job possibilities for you. So if you go into a company that you found in the book here and they make a certain product, you say, well, that sounds like kind of an interesting project. You can talk to them about that project. When I worked at the welding equipment company there, man, I latched on to what they were doing there. That was a neat product that they were making. I asked one guy one night, I was on the night shift, I said, hey, can I try welding with one of those MIG welders once? He said, man, I don't know, you better not. I said, wow, that must really be something. MIG welding is the greatest thing in the world as far as welding goes, because anybody can weld with it. You can lay a perfect weld. You just got to practice that a little bit. I was telling Jaden, is that your name?
Sure.
I was telling him when I was here a couple weeks ago, he had welded a plate there, and he had a nice bead in there. And I said, boy, that looks pretty good there. When I was in high school, I liked to take the shop class, and I used to go and burn rod. It's like holding lightning in your hand. MIG welding is a whole lot easier than that, because the rod doesn't stick on the plate, and then the plate doesn't come off the table, and everything's humming and buzzing, and it's kind of a scary proposition when you've never done it before. But after you've done it a couple times, it's good. See?
How often do they update that book so that?
Every year.
So it would be current information that they're getting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I get a book every year.
Okay.
This is 2018, so it's only 3 months old. So somebody get a Sharpie
18,
here?
it's 19.
I'm gonna write CMHS on here. Whoops, if I can write here. This is for you guys. Take a look at it. It's a big book. You're not gonna read it, but look where you might be interested in going to work. Here, if you're looking to get something, this is a good tool. It's like Google. You can go in there, if I want to buy something that's waxed paper, here's a category on waxed paper.
Yeah, it's the old-fashioned Google.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I got to laugh about that. I had a guy come in and apply for an internship Saturday morning.
Uh-huh.
I said, have a seat. I'm going to have you fill out this application. And I told you before, a lot of people, they have to go to a job placement office or something to fill stuff out, or you can go online and fill it out. I said, a lot of places have you fill things out online. I have you do it on paper. So my stack of application forms is probably 20 years old. But what's that do? When you're going in to apply for a job, I can check out the guy's handwriting if it's neat.
Mhm.
I can see if he brought a pencil to the interview or a pen. Eh? We joke about that. Every time some guy comes in, it's the first thing I look to see if he's got a pen in his pocket, if he's ready for an interview or to take notes. So anyhow, he's filling this out on paper instead of online. But yeah, to answer your question, update it every year. And there's probably stuff in there that's not current, but generally speaking,
Well, within a year.
there's a lot of information. So it's a great tool. So where was I? We were talking about everything's made somewhere.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we're going to talk about machining here too. So don't think you're getting lectures on job placement. But you have a lot of options out there. People tell you, you can do anything you want. That's kind of a blank comment. Well, tell me some direction where these anythings are. So I just gave you some examples of manufacturing, engineering, sales, accounting, the whole shooting match. So that's kind of a push in that direction. And as you go through life and get out in the work world to begin with, the main thing to do is get some experience. Okay, so if you fill out an application online or on paper, it would be good to write down if you shovel snow in the wintertime and cut grass in the summertime, put that down. People are looking for somebody that's ambitious when they're hiring somebody. So any little thing that you've done, or if you've picked up after a dog in people's yards in your town. It's all something that you've done and applied yourself to do a good job. So, all things that you wanna point out, because, whether you go to college or the work world, an internship is a good thing. When you go to colleges, if you can do an internship in different years at different places, put that down on your resume. And do internships, because employers are looking for that.